Hello, I'm Gino. Welcome to Dazzle TV. It's 5:58 a.m. here in Numancia, Aklan in the Philippines, and I'm going on my morning walk. Liana is already getting ready for school. She wanted to get to school a little earlier today because she has cleaners today. Cleaners here in the public schools in the Philippines is when the kids have to show up early to school in order for them to clean the classroom. They actually have a small bathroom in their classroom. They have to clean that. And then they also have to clean the outside of the classroom. They're responsible for the area just outside of their classroom. So Liana, she has to get there early today, and she's in charge of her cleaners group. There's about 7 kids that's in her cleaners group. So I'm just gonna do this quick video. We're gonna leave the house probably around 6:45. I just noticed on my morning walk here, this is how we receive our water bill, our electricity bill here at Camellia Aklan. They put the bill on this plastic, and there's a piece of paper that shows the amount of your bill. That way, if it rains, the piece of paper doesn't get wet. The first time I saw it, I was like, what's that hanging on our gate? And it was our electric bill. So that's how we receive our bill here. Electric bill, water bill. And then we take that bill. There's a water company here in Numancia. It's called the Numancia Water District. And that's where you have to pay it. That's the only bill that's left that I can't pay using GCash or online payment. I actually have to go there, fall in line, and pay the bill. All the other bills that we have, like electricity and cable bill, I'm able to pay with GCash. This morning, my topic is going to be things that you will notice here in the Philippines. A viewer asked me, do government and businesses listen to expat suggestions in the Philippines? Unfortunately, the answer to his question is probably no. I know many expats get frustrated with the bureaucracy and ways people do business here. Made me think of doing this video. I'm probably one of the most positive people that you'll meet here. I always preach to people to adapt to the Philippine way. We chose to retire here. I always focus on the positives. There are things you will notice in the Philippines that might frustrate you. I'm just pointing out some things so you are prepared and don't get aggravated when you see it here. Like I mentioned already, taking people's suggestions, using the suggestion to improve their service, just doesn't happen much here. The feeling you get when you suggest something to agencies or businesses here is your suggestion is ignored. Common thing you'll hear as a reply, noted, sir. Most, when you provide a suggestion, feel that you are telling them what to do, that you are better than them. Get very defensive about their process. Doesn't even matter if you approach very politely. Another common answer that you hear is, that is our policy, sir. Even if the policy could use some improvement. Employees are afraid to challenge a policy, afraid to get fired, I think. Most Filipino workers don't want to rock the boat, just happy that they have a job. When you eat at restaurants, half their menu will not be available. Restaurants here often have big, long menus. But when you ask, most of the items on their menu are not available. You will notice that here. We stopped going to our favorite Korean restaurant in Kalibo because the last few times we went, they always didn't have the Korean food that we like eating. We used to recommend them to our viewers. We no longer recommend them. We've even taken our friends there that we met on YouTube. We no longer do that. I mentioned to their staff before that it seems like a lot of items on their menu are no longer available. But nothing changed. Even at fast food restaurants, I would be in line before getting something, stand in line for 15 minutes or so, get to the front of the line, and the item that I want is not available. I always ask Dazzle what she wants and have a backup to her order. Oftentimes, 2 backups. We've eaten at our favorite Chinese fast food here before. We stand in line, about 6 people ahead of us normally. Dazzle's favorite sweet and sour fish. She was craving to eat it. We get to the front of the line, not available. That's why now, before we stand in line, I ask Dazzle her number 1, number 2, and number 3 choices. So easy to have something to say on their big menu board, like a note saying not available, like a magnetic sticker, just so when you look at the big menu board, you already know it's not available. Wouldn't take time to do each morning before they open. This would tell their customers that they care about them. Another thing that you'll notice here is incomplete ads for rental property or people selling items without disclosing the price. You have to private message the person to get details about their ad. You end up in a back and forth messaging with the person and oftentimes lead to confusion and misunderstanding. It would be so much easier to put the important information like the price on the item or rental. You'll notice on comments on a Facebook post regarding an ad, 100 people commenting on the comments saying how much. I just never saw that in the United States where someone is selling something with no price. I was inquiring about a 1-bedroom furnished apartment for a subscriber. I've always rented month to month here. My recommendation to our subscribers is always to rent month to month. It's usually 1 month deposit and 1 month advance. So I ask how much to rent the 1-bedroom apartment month to month. The landlord quoted me 10,500 pesos a month. I thought that was a fair price for a one-bedroom furnished apartment. So I told the subscriber to contact the landlord. When the subscriber contacted the landlord told him the month-to-month rent was 30,000 pesos. I could not believe it since I just messaged the landlord. So I contacted the landlord again. He said the quote he gave me was for month-to-month rent if the person signed a 6-month lease. He never told me about his 6-month lease requirement. All this confusion could have been avoided if the landlord placed the ad correctly. I could understand if the landlord had two prices, one for month-to-month and one for 6-month lease. Maybe 15,000 pesos for month-to-month and 10,500 for a 6-month lease. But not the big difference. I couldn't believe the rent went from 10,500 pesos a month to 30,000 pesos a month. Another thing that you'll notice here is when you go to a store, no price on the item that they are selling. Fruit stands and vegetable stands do this a lot. You have to ask the salesperson for the price. They will overprice the item you want. They want you to bargain or negotiate the price. Foreigners are not used to this. I can't remember bargaining anything at a store in America. That's why foreigners oftentimes think they are being scammed, being overpriced. My advice to foreigners is always buy from stores with posted prices. Dazzle, the ukay expert, the thrift store expert, actually overheard the salespersons at one of her ukay store talk one time, and the person said to the other person, if the person looked like they have money, charge them more. If they don't look like they have money, charge them less. I understand that bargaining is part of the culture in the Philippines, but I think people, especially foreigners, are not used to bargaining. So oftentimes, foreigners here think they are getting overcharged. They call it the skin tax. This could be easily avoided by posting a price on items. I personally don't like bargaining. I never buy anything here when there is no price. That would be my advice to foreigners. Avoid stores that don't put a price on their products. In Boracay, the amount of tour guides and restaurant people that get in your face is frustrating to the tourists. I don't mind the polite ones. I usually just say, no thank you, sir. But some are really impolite. It is so easy for someone to publish a set price for tours and services in Boracay. Post it so tourists know the price. They post rules and respective fines all over the beach. Why not post the price for tours and services? This will prevent foreigners to feel like there is a skin tax. and make them feel that they are dealing with honest Filipinos. The impression that some tourists get when leaving Boracay is it's a tourist trap and the locals are dishonest because some get overcharged. I would be upset too if I find out I paid twice or sometimes 3 times the price for a tour or a service. There is a Boracay Information Center by Nigi Nigi on Station 2 that assists tourists with anything in Boracay. They can tell you the current prices for tours and services in Boracay. Thank you for your continued support of our channel. Dazzle, Leanna, and I, we truly appreciate your support. Take care, everyone.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you in our next video.